Hi students, I am Dr. Sushil Narang. I am from Department of Computer Science and Engineering Artificial Intelligence from Chitkara University. So in this coming series of lectures, we are going to discuss about one of the languages that has become a favorite in very few number of years. So the language that is Python. So that has become a most favorite language among all the languages being done right now, and is being called like a language for artificial intelligence. So people generally who are into machine learning or deep learning or working out to create some artificial intelligence applications, they have been using Python as the default language. And what it has that has attracted the AI developers. So there are a lot of things, there are a lot of features about this Python. We shall deep dive into this, and there's a huge ocean we shall try to deep into and get some pearls out of Python, what exactly it is and how much it is different from the other previous languages like C, C++ or Java. The language Python that we know, is it a kind of a language what C is? Not exactly. It has been called up as an object-oriented language and also being called up as a functional programming language also. So it has a certain different number of approaches also. So in case a developer who is going to develop one application and it feels like the application should be object-oriented, so Python is there. So in case you want to shorten your code and want to make your code more versatile, so then also Python gives you the facility of converting that code into a functional code. So what exactly the functional programming approach is being followed in Python? So there are a lot of things. We are going to learn a lot of other things about Python in the coming series. Now, let's see what Python is a language like. So how can we define Python? There are few things that any developer or any programmer would like to know about the language. What exactly it is, what should I call it? Other than if I call it like it is object-oriented and functional that I know, how can I define the Python in what way it is? We generally call that Python is a dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed language, or somebody also calls it as a strongly typed language. Other than C and C++, if you have been a programmer, we know that in order to use a data, we need to declare it. We need to have certain kind of types, the knowledge about the types previously known to us before I make use of the variables. So Python is not like that. In case we want to use some data, you don't need to bother about. You don't need to bother about what type of a particular data should be. You can directly make use of a variable and store data into it. And the most surprising it is that the same kind of a variable can hold multiple different types of data. So the variable one, in case I am storing it for storing some numerical values, the same variable later on, if it is not for that particular users, can be used to store other type of values also. So that is the beauty of Python. So we will not be confused about using many variables. We need to understand how can we optimize the code also without making lot of chunks into memory. Python is, as I told, it is object-oriented. We need to learn about what exactly is an object. And once we actually want to see what exactly is an object, we just come to know about how it is created. And we know that the basic, the foundational way of creating an object is that we should have a class. So what exactly is a class? So as a normal programmer who has got some experience in C, C++, they know that there is a type. So the one type word which was there in C, C++, in object-oriented language, the same thing we can make use of. Like in case I say that I want to create a class, so that means I am somehow creating a type. And in object-oriented language, we call those types as abstract data types. So the Python, because it is object-oriented, gives us a facility of creating classes so that we can create objects and make use of them. Now, let's see what are the Python objects and different type of objects which we make use of in kind of my programs. If we say that it is object-oriented language, we say that is it a pure object-oriented language? What do we mean by pure object-oriented language? We usually have been saying in traditional way that in case a language is a pure object-oriented language that sees that everything in a program, every piece that I'm using within a program should be called up as an object. May it be like a variable, and even if it is a function. So everything we say that it is like an object. So once you create a variable, we generally say that it's not a variable, it's an object that we create. So you start by declaring a variable and putting up one value into it. It's a very simple process. If I create some numeric variable and store some value, we say that we have created integer object. So there are numeric objects, there are certain Boolean type of objects, there are certain sequence type of objects, very rich. Python is very rich in creating some sequence variables. We can have a sequence of characters called up as a string. We can have a sequence of different objects being called up as either a list, either a tuple, or either a map, which is called up as a set. And map, as I said, generally people get curious about what is map in Python. It is none other than a dictionary. So there are different sequence objects which can be made use of in order to create versatile applications. And there are certain binary data types also. We can create some byte array, we can create some general byte string also. So making around all these type of objects, your whole application sits into it. So any Python application which we will see, that will be revolving around working with objects. So that's the one just kind of a summary to start with the Python. Now in the coming lectures, we shall see more about how we can create objects and make our program more versatile. So thank you very much. We shall meet in the next lecture. Thank you.